My fans know me very well, and that's a beautiful thing. I think outside of that, I'm actually pretty misunderstood. Someone asked me the other day, they were like, yo, do you say that political stuff because like you really mean it? Or like, are you just doing like rage bait? And I'm like, are you serious? 15 years, I've been true to myself. You think I'm just all of a sudden doing rage bait? My main thing is like authenticity is so important to me. I don't like when I see someone doing something just for the views. Like I get it. We are trying to be successful and you know, we do want people to click on our shit, but I feel like people are talking about these things and they don't really care about it. They're just doing it because it works. I spent so long just in that Wednesday album world, especially those last 2 years being like, I gotta finish strong, like stick the landing, you know, and that was just all I was thinking about. And now it's like, it's just done. I've been having like a real like, who am I point in life.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a nice space.
It is a cool space.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nothing on your house, but.
Yeah, but I don't got like, you know, this is like a fully functioning, you know. I like carpet. Carpet's going out of style, but I like it actually a lot.
You don't have any carpet?
Not much. A couple of the guest rooms.
This is a funny quote, just Chris Webby. I like carpet.
Yeah, I grew up with it. It's like a comfort thing. You get out of bed, you know.
You know, it's like a thing people don't talk about when it comes to like rooms and design is rugs. That I didn't understand that until.
What'd you say? I was drinking like a baby, and I was thinking about it while I was doing it, and I missed what you said.
Area rugs.
Area rugs, yeah.
Rugs.
Oh man, what an expense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the rugs.
Oh man, this is gonna be a doozy of a podcast. I am in shambles right now, truly.
I think I should probably intro you, even though I really don't have to. But like, if you don't know, this is the one and only, the independent giant, one of the biggest independent rappers in music. He just, with the release of last Wednesday, has cemented, in my opinion, one of the best sagas in hip hop music, period. Not just in underground or independent. I wouldn't even say underground anymore, just in independent hip hop music. He's one of the best to ever do it. One of my best friends. This is Chris Webby.
Thank you for that amazing introduction.
That was off the top. That was pretty
nice.
good, actually. That was freestyle, that whole fucking thing.
Well, thank you.
That was not bad.
Where am I supposed to look somewhere?
Just no.
Look at you. Eye contact.
You can look wherever you want to.
Okay.
If eye contact makes you uncomfortable.
I am a little autistic.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Talk about, how'd you figure that out?
So yeah, we took a test after my girlfriend insisted that I was kind of. I thought it was kind of like a joke, and I was like, yeah, maybe a little bit. And she's like, no, I'm very serious.
Was there reasons why?
Yeah, a lot. And you know me quite well.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard for you to argue with that diagnosis.
Well, so you text me, you're like, you know what, I'm autistic. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so it was
Water's
a mix
wet,
of,
sky is blue.
it was a mix of, taking the test and the results coming back as like moderate, moderate to not severe, but, you know. And obviously, like, I know there's like, it's kind of trendy for people to say that nowadays, and an online test is an online test. So I did some further research and then talked to my family and friends, yourself included, and it seemed to come back unanimous. And that's kind of what sold it for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, has that changed how you think or act or anything, or do you just kind of notice it more when you're doing shit?
Just noticed it more, and it answered some questions I've had for these strange 36 years that I've been here.
Yeah. I think it's fan. I mean, that is kind of a thing. Everybody kind of says they are now, but I feel like a lot of people, when they say it, I'm just like, I don't know. You don't like loud noises or something? Whatever.
We all have weird shit.
Yeah, we all do have weird shit.
Just some of us have a lot of it.
Some of us have weird shit that we can't like let go of once we're locked in.
Yeah.
And I think that's more of like the area. But I think that's the thing, or maybe I'm wrong, but that is like your strength, almost like your superpower when it comes to your writing and your creating.
Yeah, I would agree. There's the ADHD element too, of course. But I do think that was oversold to me by the doctors a little bit because I definitely have ADHD for sure. And I have trouble paying attention to a lot. But when I do find something that I'm truly interested in, I could focus on it for an inhuman amount of time, you know, like 10 hours. I could watch an entire season of Sopranos in one day, like without breaking a sweat. So, you know, that's not necessary. I mean, of course, people I binge watch shows. Yeah. Well, like, you know, I'll write one verse. I'll be locked in for, you know, 4 or 5 hours at a time. Some verses I'll be writing for days, you know, on and off. My writing process is really, we were talking about it a bit, but it's really taking me some time these days, you know.
It's changed as of late?
Yeah, really with last Wednesday, I just started holding myself to a different standard because it's like I've said a lot and I don't know, I just got to the point where it's like I feel like throughout the course of my career, there would be moments where I would have, you know, I'd just be like, it's fine, it's good, you know, and it's just, I'm not trying to do that anymore. So I'm trying to just like every line, the way they connect, everything, just have it all. The take is right, you know. I'm doing my best, but it is time consuming.
You feel like the stakes are higher when it comes to it, or are you just holding yourself to a higher standard?
I'm just holding myself to a higher standard. I mean, the stakes were ridiculously high for last Wednesday. If you are a Chris Webby fan, I mean, obviously a lot of people don't even know who the fuck I am, so you know, I guess not high stakes for them, but for the Chris Webby fan, I feel like, you know, to end a series like that was a lot of pressure.
Well, it's not even for the fan. I mean, it's more so even just for you because you want to
and the legacy,
cement what you're doing.
Yeah. Really, I guess it's me who's holding myself to that, you know.
Well, I was talking to someone the other day about just creating a genre, and it's like when you first start making songs, songs are easy to make.
Yeah, and it was even with studio bounces and putting them out. Like,
yeah,
as mixtapes.
And you don't think about it. You write a verse and you're like, this is sick. But once you've done it so much, you get to a point where you have to raise it and it's never good enough. It's like the less you know, the better you think it is and the easier it is. And then the more you know, the harder it gets every single time. And then the more elements you bring in. I think that's why, I know for me, why I'm always incorporating different elements because I have to keep it fresh. And when you keep new things and when you add new shit, it's like when you first started making a rap verse because then it makes it easier to do. But when you start singing on something or you do something that's more like folk soundy or some shit like that, then it like opens up the doors a little bit. Yeah,
opening a lot of doors. But yeah, last Wednesday, that one really like cracked my brain there towards the end. It was just so much, man. It was so much. The videos, the rollout, you know, getting the hard copies and making sure everything was perfect, all the songs done. Some of them came down to the wire. It was insane.
Do you feel like now that it's done, are you like happy that the Wednesday series has had its time?
I'm happy. You know, I feel like probably how David Chase felt after The Sopranos. It's like, you know, couldn't have been better. I'm proud of the ending, even though that ending was very specific and not for everyone when it comes to The Sopranos. I think it was
it's
brilliant.
Fucking brilliant.
It was, you know. But yeah, you know, it's still just like that was great. But now what do I do? You know?
Yeah. It's like in Sandlot when they hit the fucking home run and they're stoked, but now they don't get to play anymore and now they don't know what the fuck they're gonna do.
Yeah, I spent so long just in that Wednesday album world, you know, and then especially those last 2 years being like, I got to finish strong, like stick the landing, you know, and that was just all I was thinking about. And now it's like, it's just done. It's like, oh, fuck, like, who am I now? You know, I've been having like a real, like, who am I point in life.
Identity crisis?
Yeah, you could call it that.
Well, I think you're fine judging by the music I've heard that you got coming out.
I've already made like a whole EP since then. It's just, but I'm hard on myself. And it's only been a couple months.
Yeah, so exactly.
It's not like I've had this like, you know, a year where I'm walking around not knowing who I am. It's
aimlessly
literally
in your bathrobe.
Yeah, I'm on tour like right now. So everything is all right.
That's probably important to mention that we are on tour right now.
Yeah. And that's why I sound, you know, not so great and am a little low energy. I woke up with a bad hangover. I've been fighting something like an ear infection and a mucusy thing I woke up
it's
with
like
no voice today, so I'm glad I'm at least here.
The fact that you're here, and Jen, the fact that we're doing a podcast while we're on tour is like just a lot to begin with. Because listen, we were talking about this yesterday. Is like, you know, when you do the first show of a tour and you're like, how the fuck do we do this for 18 shows? Because it's so much. It's like a traveling circus. And I don't think people understand that when they come to a show. They think that, I don't know what they think. I don't know what I used to think before I started touring is that you show up and it's, you take for granted that, oh, the merch is here and the tables are here and the sound system's here and the equipment's here. But you don't see the hours before that people are loading in 50 bins of merch, setting up the tables.
Drives.
The fucking drives.
The wake ups.
The lack of sleep and all that shit. And that's like, what do they say? You don't really get paid for the show. You get paid for everything in between, which is 100% true. But the fact of playing Las Vegas the night before and then
I was down in that casino till a little too late last night.
Were you playing? Were you gambling?
A little bit. Well, see, when I first got in, I played slots and I was down 80 and then I hit a super jackpot and I won $82. So I was up 2. But then last night, you know, had a couple cocktails. Definitely blackjack.
You're playing blackjack?
Fast. It happened so fast.
Well, you lost it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It always happens fast.
Yeah. I don't know how much.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It couldn't have been too much. I don't have a gambling problem, just drug ones.
I wouldn't even say you have a drug problem.
No, I'm
not going to diagnose you. I'm not going to Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can diagnose me with autism.
Yeah.
Because
that's obvious.
Yeah.
But you are one of the few people I've seen that has like a regimen of things that you use really only when you're on tour, mostly that I see.
Yeah. Well, I have other ones that I use at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to have discipline.
You are incredibly disciplined when it comes to that shit.
Yeah.
Which I'm not.
Discipline is important across the board. You know, it really is, especially doing what we do. You couldn't tour the way we do without discipline. Mm. You know, you burn out. You can't, the body can only take so much. So you got to have like if I drank like I did on tour at home.
Fucking insane.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd have serious health problems.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So.
Well, that's like when I talk to people, because I've been sober for so long. I've been sober before I even met you. And there's people who are like, how do you tour with Chris Webby? You know? And I've said it like 1,000 times before, but I'm like, dude, I'm not anti-drug. I'm just anti-drug for me because a lot of people that are sober are like anti-drug, and I've never really believed in that. I think you should do whatever the fuck you want to do, and if something makes you feel good and it doesn't hurt anybody else, you should do that thing.
And some of them are, you know, some of them are prescriptions, you know, for better or worse. You know, I got put on Adderall when I was in 7th grade, so it's like, if I could exist without it, that'd be cool. But since I was like prepubescent, I've been on a stimulant that has like my brain has kind of evolved to depend upon. So that's really the one where it's like that one is kind of like, I'm kind of tied to that one a little more so than anything else. Anything else I could just stop. And I could stop taking Adderall, but and I should stop taking Adderall at some point in life. That'll be like the big conquer.
That'll be a huge thing.
No, I mean, listen, one day maybe I'll just like will stop doing drugs, you know, like or start trimming them out one at a time. That'd probably be more my process is like, you know, as something no longer serves me. I'd love to stop drinking. It's just like, it's just for the show. You know what I mean?
You don't even really drink that much when you're at home.
No, I don't drink like at all. When I wish I could just perform sober, but you know, the more I thought about it, and I of course can perform sober. I did when I had COVID. That's
sort of.
Yeah. That's, not many times do I perform sober, but the thing is, it's really like, I get in my head, and I'm more likely to fuck up the lines sober than with a buzz. Like, cause I hit that autopilot mode and it's like a long set, man. You know, it's just. You
do play the longest set I've ever seen of any artist, probably.
Really?
I'm trying to think, maybe Grateful Dead.
Wow.
Plays longer. I don't know. You played a 2-hour set in Denver.
Show 1
That's
in the altitude.
insane. The 2 hours is for a hip hop artist is fucking nuts.
Well, on this particular tour, we got to cover all the Wednesday albums, you know? So it's like a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah. It's been years. It's a long ass time.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it is a long set, but I feel like it's interesting all the way through, you know what I mean? It's like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah. Don't let it, you know, like when you put a set together, you know as well as anyone, you know, it's all about the kind of.
It's so hard to pick a fucking headlining set. And it's weird when you move from being like an opener to a headliner. Trying to build a headliner set is like a completely different situation of how to fucking take people through the entire journey of your set or whatever you're doing. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Nah, but you learn, like, there's the certain ones go off in the beginning, you know, you just got to keep having those like firework moments, but then you got to have those raw, vulnerable moments kind of that really connect. I got a lot of fucking songs. So, you know, like ultimately there's a large amount to choose, but also, you know, being the type of artist where I don't have like singles, you know, like obviously there's the popular songs I got to do, but you know, people show up and they want to hear this one, that one. And obviously it is what it is. I'm going to do my set, but different people identify with different songs. And I have probably, I don't know how many, like 500 or some songs.
It's a lot of fucking songs.
Quite a few.
500 is a lot of songs.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. We're going to Canada. All right. So this is going to come out like right as we're on tour.
Okay, cool.
So I think we'll have already played Portland and Seattle. We're probably right about to head into Canada.
Okay. Yep.
So the great white north, you know, and we haven't been to Canada in a hot minute. And the last time we were there was pretty fucking wild.
Yeah.
And,
this whole tour is going to be wild.
Yeah.
It's like already has been. I'm glad I'm getting this cold out of the way early. Hopefully my immune system just kind of locks in from there.
Yeah, kick it all the way out. As long like last time we went to Canada, we were talking about Sudbury earlier because Sudbury was fucking nuts. And I think there's a bunch of homeless people in Sudbury that still have red Chris Webby hoodies.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Because our fucking, they broke into the van, smashed the window, which is still broken glass in the van. Because
there still is, all these years later.
Yeah, Canada was fucking nuts. And it's gonna be nuts again. So I'm hyped to go back. So
yeah. No, yeah, it's the first, what are we, 4 in? 4?
It feels weird that we're only 4 in.
I'm saying.
It does feel like we've been on tour for a hot minute.
Yeah.
The days get longer and the shows get fucking crazier. So yeah, if you're out there and you haven't gotten tickets yet, make sure to go grab some fucking tickets because we are on tour and it is going to be a fucking banger. And
absolutely.
we're gonna be heading to Canada.
Absolutely.
The Scott Storch album is on the way. Have you even talked about that?
No, yeah. So yeah, I'm over here being like, I don't know who I am. I already did an EP with Scott Storch in the brief time since the Wednesday series ended. So I'm excited to get back to kind of finishing, mixing, and mastering that. What
was that experience?
That was
because you worked with Scott way back.
Yeah.
How long ago?
Like 2013. So, and we caught like a good vibe back then. So to get up with him and do a whole project was a very cool. I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time.
Well, I mean, was it different now just for you being in your career where you're at now compared to where you were when you did like
my songwriting abilities and everything? And I was down there with JP, my producer, which just kind of like to have him there to keep everything nice and it's great. I mean, Storch is one of the greatest piano players on the planet, you know, and his melody game is wild. He can do something a lot of other producers can't. Yeah, really, no other producer can do quite what he does.
No.
Which makes him so unique. And, I mean, you heard the project. It's definitely unhinged, I would say.
Yeah, but in the best way. It has like really like throwback calls to like the older, like early 2000s.
Yeah, that's what we were going for.
Music when nobody gave a fuck. And I don't know what happened when everything like changed or why it changed, but it is like such a breath of fresh air to hear that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, if anyone's gonna sometimes say the things, you know, it's my role in the ecosystem.
I just don't get why nobody's saying anything anymore. Like if that's...
Well, because everybody wants to be friends with everybody and share followers. I'm shadow banned anyways. That don't do nothing for me. And just sometimes it's like, dude, there's just some people I don't like. So I'm gonna say how I feel.
I mean, you never really shied away from it.
No, it's not in my nature. Maybe that's part of my autism.
It's what? Just not being able to not say what you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it usually like doesn't work in my benefit to sometimes say some of the things at least that I feel, but
I mean, a lot of things start with like the sway freestyles, which has been a minute since you've done a sway freestyle.
It has. I'm probably due. I should get in there.
That shit seems like just a lot to take on.
Yeah.
It's like the stakes are high.
So like every artist has their different superpowers, you know, and one of mine is not memorizing a verse like that. You know what I mean? I can do it, but that's a lot for me to write a verse like that. Because, I mean, obviously those ones, I have gone and freestyled on those shows back in the day. But, like, now you want to show up with a clear, concise dissertation, basically, and spit it perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's like you get one shot, you know, you're like.
I thought, okay, so I remember I did one with Bootleg Kev. And I was just stressing, dude, because you write your whole 16. If y'all don't fucking know by now.
16, shit.
Or no, not a 16. But you're right. It was not. It was like a 32. Yeah. It was fucking long. But I mean, if you got, none of it's fucking freestyles. I'm pretty sure
mine's are usually like.
They're all written. Yours was probably 128 70. Bars. Yeah. Something crazy. But I wrote the whole thing and I was fucking stressing, trying to memorize it. And like, I was just so worried about it. And then I got there and I did it. And I was like, fuck. Thank God.
No, it feels so good to be done with it.
But then he was like, oh, you did it first try, blah, blah, blah. It took like 6 or 7 times to do it. And I was like,
those ones, yes. Sway, you're live on Shade 45. Like, people are listening to you that moment. So
well, I thought I was like, I could have done that again if I fucked up.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. I thought I had to have a fucking perfect first go and run it. But it is better practice to probably know how to do that shit anyways.
But it's, the pressure of that, and it's like the only thing living in your head until you fucking get it off, so you got to just get it off. But like, for example, Annoyed, he is so good at that. Like, he can write something, memorize it, he's got it in there, he's like a robot with that. For me, that's definitely an Achilles heel. Is now, at the same time, I have a very long set, and I don't miss those words, but it is different when it's like your song. As opposed to just a really long verse you just wrote.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? It's a fucking lot, man. But it's been a while since I'd done one of those. They take a long time to write too, because it's like, if you're gonna go on one of those radio shows, it's like you want to bring your absolute A game. That's kind of the whole point. So,
was the Raw Thought when you first started doing like the first Raw Thought shit was kind of the first time you like stepped into like really going at people super heavy?
Yeah, yeah. It was. It was never planned to be a series. It was just like, they were just raw thoughts. That was kind of like when the mumble rap stuff was coming into the fold. I wasn't liking what I was seeing. Started talking about some politics. Didn't like what I was seeing, yada, yada, and then... the craziest thing is how that's just become like a type of hip hop now, which I'm not a huge fan of. Just this whole like...
The clickbait,
political commentary, clickbait.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how I feel about that, and some of those guys don't like them. But my main thing is like, authenticity is so important to me, and I don't like when I see someone doing something just for the views. Like, I get it. We are trying to be successful, and we do want people to click on our shit, but I don't know. I feel like people are talking about these things and they don't really care about it. They're just doing it because it works.
There's a lot of people you could see, especially in the hip hop game, that as soon as their listenership starts to go down for the music they make, all of a sudden they develop a hot take politically.
Hot take politically. Like, they throw on a cowboy hat, start strumming the guitar, and next thing you know, now they're like a country hybrid. I don't know what the hell,
Some people do it successfully, and there's some people that do it unsuccessfully.
Well, listen,
like, I see what you tried to do.
There's a
and it didn't
natural
work.
progression. Like when you have a Jelly Roll, it's like that's
the Jelly Roll. That was always him, though. Like he was always doing that.
Exactly, and that's
and he didn't go into politics and shit. He just went into doing the same shit he's always done, just leaned heavier to this side than the other side.
It was authentic,
Yeah,
you know, and that's
exactly.
really just what it is. Like when I can see it on someone when it's not authentic, I can smell it like a dog, and I hate it. I can't fucking stand it. Now most people, you know, I'm sure you see it too, and you're just like, I don't like it. For me, I'm just like, I don't like it, but I have to do something about it. You know what I mean? Which just because, I don't know. I feel like it's taking advantage of the fans, kind of. You know,
I think we talked about this before. It's like when a lot of these artists if you get called like whatever, you're fucking homophobic or you're racist or you're this or that. It's like, no, you're none of those things. What you are is fake.
Yeah.
You're a fake because you're not any of these things, but you're playing up in certain ways to sell to people.
A lot of these people, they're just empty vessels. They believe in nothing. They care for nothing. They're just...
There are certain things that bother. Like, I really dislike when people play up addiction.
Yeah.
Especially people that I know. I'm like, I know you're not sober. Why are you making content about, oh, I'm sober or I'm not drinking or whatever? Or if someone's like, I quit drinking. And you're like, well, you didn't have a drinking problem. So fucking congrats, I guess.
Yeah.
But I see what you're just...
And they're using it as a vehicle to appeal to that base and sell fucking units.
Yeah,
you know,
you're a fucking grifter, man. Like, I get
mental health's another one.
That's a big one. And it's like, I know that works, okay, and I get it. But sometimes there's things I know would work for me, but I'm like, it's not me, so I can't do it. So,
and then there's things that would work for you that you do, and they are you. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's totally cool. Like, I've talked about a lot of these things too, but I don't know. You can tell. I mean, apparently not everyone can tell, but we can tell when I think
other times
real
people just like hearing people talk about something that they like, and that is kind of where it ends, and it doesn't matter to them if it's authentic. The sobriety thing's one. The God thing is that shit. That's like a hot button one for me too, because I'm like, dude, I know you don't fucking, you're not religious. What is this shit, dude? What are you doing?
Taking advantage of fans. Really, you know, I mean, the fans should have a better barometer of authenticity, and they should, you know, maybe look inwardly and work on that, you know, because we could all grow. But
nobody wants to think that somebody's not being authentic. That nobody wants to think that, and so a lot of times they just kind of
so rare. They need to understand that, like, so many of these artists are full of shit, you know, and it's like the only reason I've lasted this long through so many poor decisions and you know, a very tumultuous career that has finally led me to this place of more security, you know, and legacy that I'm at now. But I was just always true to myself and authentic, you know, and I feel like that's always what shined through. I don't know, man. Like, this game is just...
Well, it is true, because you have always been... I've been on tours with you when even your tour manager would be like, Webb, you can't do that. Webb, you can't say that. Don't do this. Don't do that. But you just always have done you and said what you wanted to say, and it's paid off every single time, because for better, for however the rest of the world takes it, your fans get it, and the people that are supposed to get it do, and they appreciate the fuck out of it. And it's made it so that, I mean, you are able to live independently and make your own decisions and have control over everything and live a great fucking life and be able to exist.
One thing I will say, like, my fans know me very well, and that's a beautiful thing. I think outside of that, I'm actually pretty misunderstood. You know, I think that there's a lot of people who think a lot of things about me, and some of those things I'm sure are true, but a lot of them I feel like aren't. And I don't know, I feel like some people think I am either playing into these same inauthentic trends, which that really pisses me off when people think I'm like doing something. Someone asked me the other day, they were like, yo, do you say that political stuff because like you really mean it, or like are you just doing like rage bait? And I'm like, don't ever fucking ask me. Rage bait. Are you serious? 15 years I've been true to myself. You think I'm just all of a sudden doing rage bait?
Yeah.
No. And like these other guys, though, it is what they're doing. And because they're doing it, it makes people like, sometimes I get grouped into these categories, you know, and if it makes me sick, I don't even talk about politics that much. You know what I mean? I do sometimes, you know, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Like, these things are on my mind. I've been watching the chemtrails the whole time we've been on tour. It's insane. You have a lot here, by the way. It was a checkerboard yesterday.
Well, this is Vegas, so
heavy metals.
Area 51's close by.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know exactly what the grand plan is, and I'm not going to get into my theories, but
what's your Mount Rushmore of conspiracy theories?
Well, 9/11, definitely like the whole COVID vaccine. We just group that into one.
I feel like that's not even a conspiracy at this point.
No,
it's pretty much proven.
I mean, most of them aren't. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not a big alien guy. Like, I do believe there's a lot there, but I'm not like a specialist on the space alien stuff. I more am like.
What about the moon landing?
Seems like it didn't happen. I mean, definitely seems like it didn't happen. So.
Well, what are you laughing at?
Like, because like with the wind and everything, like, again, I'm not a specialist. I can't like, and that's another thing too. Like, I've been following so many things for so long. I know a lot, but when you start to have a conversation and engage in like a debate with someone, they're like, oh, you can't even name like all like, and it's like off the top of my head.
You mean like Lupe Fiasco?
Yeah. You know, I can't pull every source. You know. But that doesn't mean I don't see the big picture. It doesn't mean I didn't know something at one point. I just forget the particulars. But if you're following closely enough, you can kind of see what's going on. I mean, there's definitely some question marks right now. I'm not exactly sure where certain things are going right now. So I'm just kind of sitting back and seeing how some stuff plays
I've noticed
out.
that you are kind of just sitting back and taking things in.
Yeah, because I think there's a... I mean, look, we got this new guy in, right? I think RFK's taking food dyes out. Great. That's fantastic, you know?
We were talking about that today. Have you seen the difference of the colors of Fruit Loops here and Fruit Loops in like the UK?
Oh, yeah. No, it's unbelievable. They're literally just trying to poison us and kill us, ultimately. So it's any step we can make in that direction. But at the same time, you know, when it comes to the tariff thing, I'm not an economist, and neither are most of the people who are shoving their opinions down our throats about it on Facebook and Instagram, which has given everyone a platform to be a specialist all of a sudden. I'm not really sure how that's going to pan out. That's not my specialty. But you know, then there's like, what's up with all these chemtrails? Why is that going on right now? Why is that intensifying? And you know, why can't we do something about that? So
I don't even know much about the chemtrails.
Well, they're heavy metals. I mean, the conspiracy there would be, you know, I think what they're literally saying is that they're trying to block the sun out and like basically dim the sun to stop global warming.
But that is what's happening when these planes are out and you just see them flying and leaving the trail behind them.
Yeah, and then it makes for these like weird kind of like stringy, blocky clouds.
So is it a thing like they are releasing something into the air?
Heavy metals.
What they're telling us it is different?
Well, they got caught, so now they have to
How would you not get? Everybody's like, what the fuck is that?
For years, they were just like, oh, that's just normal planes. You know what I mean?
I used to think that when I was a kid. I was like, yeah, it's just a plane. What are all these planes doing this for all the time?
I mean, it's really ramped up. So I think there's got to be something going on.
What did they say? What do they say it is?
They're trying to, I think they've now admitted that they're trying to block the sun to deal with, you know, climate change. But if they block the sun, that's like what gives us an immune system in a lot of ways. We need the vitamin D from the sun. We are a species that, you know, everything kind of needs the sun. So I don't really know, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like a good idea.
Didn't Bill Gates say he was going to nuke like the ozone or this?
Bill Gates he's Dr. Evil. Like, this is a big part of his thing, like the chemtrails and shit. But the problem with it, on top of blocking out the sun, which I don't think is the move, you know, I feel like maybe they should have been a vote or something, you know, like, should we block the sun? Yes, no.
Yeah.
I feel like most people would have said no. But it's heavy metals. So, you know, cadmium, barium, I believe, aluminum, bunch of shit. So that's what's getting dumped. It's coming down. We're getting it in us, you know, through breathing. It's on our food. It's in fucking everything.
On top of the plastics. Dude, the food dye is a fucking crazy one to me.
Yeah. So I mean, like those like little things where it's like if we take the food dye out, like that's good.
Like, why have the
we
food
got a lot
dye?
more.
Why have the food dye to begin with? I don't get like because it sells more.
Yeah, it's
kids?
cheaper. It's cheaper.
Why just not color it at all and just have it just?
Because a lot of shit, I guess, would look gross.
It would just look tan.
Yeah,
everything would just be tan.
I mean, listen, they do it in most other countries in a different way that doesn't poison everyone. You know, it's like we've fallen pretty far as a country when it comes to a lot of things health related, and yeah, no, it's literally insane that they do this to us. It makes me quite mad, and
yeah,
you know, I would hope that things are going to change, but you know, you can't sleep on the fact that there is a very powerful elite, you know, just to put it vaguely, that kind of shadow government of the world, if you will. And, you know, it's not like they retired, you know, they're still doing their thing and they still have big plans. So got to stay frosty out here. And as far as who we got now, you know, let's see how it pans out.
Yeah.
I think there was a choice to make at that time. I was vocal about it. I still think, yeah, whatever happens, it'd still be better than that.
I mean, unfortunately, that's a choice you have to make.
Yeah, you know.
Like, what's the lesser
And it's a choice that, I mean, I took a ton of flack for that. But again, I'm not doing it to appeal to a crowd. I'm doing it because it's like, yo, man, this is what I believe, man. I really think free speech is out the window immediately if we go the other way, and a lot of other things. You know, she was fucking. I mean, I'm autistic. She's something that fucking.
I think I've just always just believed in like a lot of people's like I don't even care what your beliefs are as long as they're not some extreme, totally fucked up something that's gonna hurt somebody else. It's just that there's no reason to like not be friends with someone, not be cool with somebody.
100%.
So there's so many people that are just like. Fuck you, I'm out, or fuck you, I'm not a fan anymore. I'm not listening to this dude anymore because of.
I dealt with a lot of that.
Dude?
I dealt with a lot of that, and it's just like it just goes to show like how people are trained to think now. It's really like disappointing because I feel like we should all be talking about, especially kind of the things we disagree on, but in like a civil manner and trying to get to the bottom of stuff instead of just shutting out. But the thing is, it's more than just shutting out. I mean, these people are so mean. Like there were people messaging my girlfriend, like threatening. It's just like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Really, really wild stuff, man. And it's like, I'm not like a conservative mouthpiece, you know? And I just think I have probably more, you know, traditional liberal views than conservative. Obviously, when you make a little bit of money out here, like some conservative mindset comes into play where you are like, oh yeah, I didn't used to care about that at all because I had no money.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, it's nice to have some. But I mean, when it comes to like people and their rights, you know, that's another thing. You know, I've said some things, I make some jokes. So people sometimes think I'm like hateful against groups of people. There's a lot of groups now, you know what I mean? And yes, I make a ton of jokes about them, but I honestly, you know, as long as you leave the kids alone, I'm cool with anybody. I really like, I don't judge someone on what they look like or what they identify as, even if it's weird as fuck to me. I judge them on how they carry themselves and their, you know, the quality of their character, you know? So, and I really think a lot of people don't think that about me. I think a lot of people probably think I'm really judgmental and rude, and it honestly couldn't be much further from the truth. But
yeah, that's something that blows my mind too, because I've had people that have tried to say that to me about you, and I'm just like, dude, you don't know Webby. Like, he's one of the best dudes I've met. This dude has it is the content of your character. Other than like some shit that you say. And if you're making a fucking joke, it's a fucking joke, dude. I was saying like, dude, I remember when the Kanye tweets were going, like me and Andrew were just like, dude, this is like the funniest time to be alive right now. Like if you don't let shit offend you, this is one of the funniest times to be alive right now. Cause shit is hilarious.
You shouldn't let shit offend you. Like in life, like what kind of way to live? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like we're all just human beings trying to figure it out, and most of us still have a lot to figure out.
It does feel more and more like a movie the longer shit starts to go. It's like you couldn't even write some shit that's this crazy.
Yeah. The hatred between groups, it's like, dude, it's so fucking played out, man. Like, can't we just...
It is. I feel like people are getting played out on it too.
Yeah.
And there's even a lot of, to go back to like that type of music that people were like, I feel like it doesn't even work anymore. Like, because we're not in that climate as much anymore. Like we still are in a sense, but it's like,
Trump won, dude. What are you guys about to rap about? About to take like a 4-year victory lap of just Americana songs, like hip hop wise. That's fucking weird. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there is still stuff to talk about. But most of those people don't dig past the surface. There are still plenty of things. I mean, the chemtrails, but it's not about canceling and all this. Like that was a time though. There was a time like people were getting their careers like either completely taken out or altered dramatically. Like I was shadow banned, probably still am, for talking about I'm pretty sure that happened during the vaccine times. And whatever,
Yeah.
But I don't bitch about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these other guys like, oh, I'm shadow banned. And like meanwhile, there's some of these, we know who I'm talking about, does so well, the views are crazy, and I say the same shit and I get punished. It makes me think, like who you really working for? Because I fucking say shit and it's like, I'll get like 500 likes on a brand new song where I'm talking about this. It's like, no way. That's not how, but whatever.
I mean, it is like even just the era of music and everything in general, because you had eras, going back to the fucking datpiff days, like you've seen shit change from then to, Spotify becoming a thing and having, the releases every 2 weeks that is, how it was for a time, for a decent period of time, to now moving into this whole fucking social media era.
Yeah, no, I've
of where
survived
things are at.
Multiple generations within hip hop at this point, which is, I think, something that, a potential contender should not like sleep on. Like, it's like, dude, I am a survivor, bro. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I am not going anywhere. That's a fact. I will learn. I just learned how to Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to forget how to stop making or forget how to make music. It's going to keep coming. Even if I have these little bouts of identity crisis where I just play a video game and, do ketamine, sit there for a month and just kind of like, who am I?
Well, that's, figure it out. Fucking.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You have been in all these different areas. You've had some of the most epic collabs, I think, and maybe some that people don't even know about. Just off rip, like DMX, incredible.
Yeah, last verse he ever laid too, which adds a level of legendariness to it that is truly insane.
Yeah. Busta Rhymes.
Another one, yeah.
Also insane. Tech, obviously, a few times. Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the, like, craziest
and
features.
Pete's the man, too. He really is. He was a fan of mine, like, back in middle school. So he's been a long-time listener. And he just moved to the woods kind of near me, so I've been hanging out with him. And he got, like, a cold plunge.
Oh, nice.
Introduced me to the cold plunge. That's good shit.
I saw, wasn't there a video of him not that long ago? Was it at the Grammy or some or Super Bowl or some shit? Where he was telling somebody, like...
And he rode by Tech. He was like, Webby sends his regards. Which is a hilarious thing to say. Oh, man. No, he's like literally like the one actual celebrity who has like ever shown me love pretty much publicly, which I think is super cool. I'm not someone that a lot of people go out of their way to show love to. Even I feel like there are people who listen to me but just would never admit it. You know what I mean? Maybe because I'm like a little like a loose cannon or whatever. People have
It's so quick because you're not even that fucking loose of a cannon. There's so many other people that are such...
I know, but people think I'm like...
Even if you compare what you say to what Eminem has said, like, it's not even... Eminem made a whole song about killing his fucking wife, like the entire song.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can broadcast that you listen.
song.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
But it's just so like the double think there is just so fucking weird.
Well, because now,
Like because he wrote that back then,
yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah.
But you still listen to it now, so
Yeah.
what the fuck?
No, I mean it's just like certain topics and it's just like a lot of people just don't want to touch shit with a 10-foot pole. They you know. They don't want to be associated. So, of course, I always appreciate you and all my buddies because I know that people will literally be like, how could you, like, hang out with Webb? It is wild.
So
I know Greaves was
stupid.
telling me something similar, too, like of a fan who reached out to him and he had to basically say the same thing. So I do appreciate you guys going to bat for me and my
Well, like,
character.
how could you hang out with this guy who doesn't agree with the things that I agree with? I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, or has said something that he thought was funny that I don't find funny. Like, bro.
Yeah. Again, misunderstood, man. I feel like I am a bit misunderstood, but hey, it's whatever. You know what I mean? People don't want to understand, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to sit here and try to explain it to them, like, and then try to win over people who are filled with hate and division. Like, you know, I don't need those people in my life.
Well, I'm like, are you not open-minded enough to realize that people are multifaceted? There's more going on here than just one certain belief that you don't agree with or something that...
And my fans are super open-minded people, and I think people have a certain idea in their heads sometimes of what a Chris Webby crowd is going to look like.
Mhm.
And it's actually like pretty diversified, and the one real common thread between everyone in the room normally is open-mindedness, I would say. It's actually like, kind of misfits, outcasts potentially, but all who are just kind of there to have a good time and are cool with each other, you know?
I mean, it's always been, ever since, you know, the first tour you guys brought me on has been like, I mean, honestly, the reason that we're sitting here is probably because of that. Like, that's probably the first domino.
Yeah, it was,
that
it was, you've come a long way, my friend. You did
up.
very well. You did everything you needed to do. You listened. You paid attention in those early years. So people who don't know, he bought on to a tour in 2019.
It was 2019.
And we caught a vibe and we invited him back out for the next one. Just like, you know, just come out. You know, you were great. Did it another time, and enough times until, you know, now the promoter's paying him too.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. And he's built this career and he paid attention. He learned kind of how a successful independent career could work. And he did a lot of those things, but then also you did your own thing. You know, you made it your own. It at no point felt like you were stepping on toes. You know, you were like, you're the man, dude. And we are such good friends, you know, through it all.
Yeah.
It's really like a beautiful thing.
Well, there's a lot of people who like gatekeep, you know, and if they have something that works for them, a lot of people operate out of like a scarcity mindset of, I can't tell you what I do or how I do it, because if I do that, then, you know, you're going to take from what I have, which is such like bullshit, man. It is so much, if you share the wealth and you share the knowledge and you stick together, like everybody kind of rises together
Right.
in the same way.
Right.
And you were always open in a way nobody else was, like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I do. I do this, my artwork looks like this, I release like that, and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, cool. So I should do that, because obviously that's working. I looked at your operation, was like, holy fuck. You can have an actual life and make a good living off of doing this stuff if you do it the right way and own all your shit and keep it all to yourself.
And it takes time and it takes patience, and you had that patience.
Yeah.
You didn't get antsy and start to stick to a plan and then divert and make some weird move that ended up fucking up your trajectory. You stayed the course, and that is so important. On the flip side, it's like sometimes, you know, I am happy to give the knowledge, but I've also spent a lot of time giving knowledge to certain people who didn't use it. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I really do appreciate that it wasn't wasted time. Like you did what you wanted to do. Also, you know, some people, you got to guard your energy, you know, don't gatekeep, but you know.
Well, there's another piece of that too, because I do, and maybe I'm wrong, but just from knowing you and knowing like, you know, stuff around you. I do feel like there's people that you have dropped knowledge on and helped and kind of like gave advice to along the way that just kind of took and were kind of like, thanks, you know, not like to that extreme,
Not like that.
not to that extreme,
Well,
but
maybe,
it was just,
I don't know what they say, but no, like, listen, and I'm always happy to help. I'm not the type of person to sit around and be like, they never came back and did a favor for me.
no, but you don't need a
but,
favor back, but it's just like
But yeah.
the acknowledgement.
I think it's interesting, like the role I have actually played in like certain people's careers that people would never know, you know. I've been around a long time. You build relationships over the course of fucking 16 years. Wow. Yeah, I just hit 16. Like last week. White Noise LP came out 2009, April.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean,
like really, like maybe today. I don't know.
that's pretty crazy.
This might be my 16th.
What
my
day did
sweet
it come
16.
out?
I don't know. I'd have to check. Maybe the 30th. What's today?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
I had there was a show the other day and I was trying to like do a story to talk about it and I was like, oh, today I was like, I don't even know what the fucking day it is. I couldn't
It's after
tell you.
420. I know that.
It's not Monday. I know that.
Yeah. It's
Any other day? It's probably not Saturday and it's not Monday.
yeah.
But any other thing, I have no.
I mean,
fucking
that's a good
clue.
hint.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. I mean, that's a big thing, and like I don't take it lightly because showing somebody a blueprint of how to operate, especially in a fucking business that's so difficult because this business is incredibly hard to navigate and figure out.
It is. And especially for you coming out, you know, when you were really getting your shit going, looking at like 2018, 2019, 2020 and going, you know, now I feel like you've really like cemented yourself in and it's a beautiful thing, but there's a lot of people coming out now. Like the one difference was when I was coming out, there were a lot less resources. So there were things that were much more difficult back then, for sure. But there was also less rappers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just plain and simple. Everybody's a fucking rapper now. Is it, you know, so
Well, dude, there's like I was looking on my phone. There's like the Bandcamp or the band Garage Band on the phone. You can make a beat on your phone that's not bad.
Yeah, AI's
and you can
coming now,
record
too.
into just your microphone, and it sounds pretty fucking good. It sounds way better than some of the first shit I made on an actual microphone. 10 years ago.
They're like paid money to do.
Yeah, which is fucking insane.
Yeah, no, technology is now, it's making it real easy for people who are not so good to sound all right.
Yeah.
You know, polishing turds out here.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. So, but hey, it is what it is. You got to just kind of like, with every generation that comes, like pick up enough knowledge to survive the next asteroid strike and, you know, just make it from like the trilobites to I wasn't around for the trilobites. I'm not that old, but you know, like definitely dinosaurs to like the, what was the era after that? The one where they had those giant birds, terror birds. Made it
You know
through the
way
terror
more about
bird.
this shit. I have no idea.
I know about a lot of random shit. So yeah, we're probably in like the die off of the mighty mammals era, if that's the case, into more like the modern day flora and fauna that we are familiar with.
I don't even know what flora and fauna is.
Animals and plants.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, of course.
Other way around though. Flora is plants, fauna, animals.
We do got to wrap up because we got to get on the road. But before we do, I got a couple things. I want to know your Mount Rushmore TV shows.
4, right?
4.
Sopranos, The Wire, Breaking Bad.
How's it so fast?
That fourth slot of stuff. I'm gonna just Snowfall
Snowfall makes it in the top 4?
or Mr. Robot.
I never finished Mr. Robot.
It's very good.
Fortunately, I don't finish a lot of shows.
Yeah, which is
don't.
crazy to me.
It-
Like I'm like OCD. It's like I gotta finish it because I started it, and you know sometimes it's yeah. But I mean the first 3 there are easy.
I mean, I should take Sopranos honestly out of the running because that's the given.
Or just how about a Mount Rushmore of 5? You know.
Yeah.
But no, the like runners up would be Boardwalk, Empire, Sons of Anarchy, Vikings. Oh, Thrones. Jesus Christ. Forgot to put Thrones.
Does Thrones make it even with the ending?
Yeah, Thrones would probably actually be my fourth. And then like Snowfall, Mr.
What about
Robot, and
Peaky
Boardwalk
Blinders,
Empire. What's that?
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders is very good as well. It's hard.
Are they making a
good.
movie?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Video games. Mount Rushmore.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Ghost of Tsushima. Vice City. And Super Mario Brothers 3.
Super Mario Bros. 3. Why 3?
3 was the one where you're on the top map going level to level.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's tough. But what I will say without question, Red Dead 2, number one. I'm replaying it right now. I'm going for a platinum, which is a sick in the head thing to attempt.
How many hours is that going to take?
A lot.
Well, this is why I think it's smart that you're doing Twitch.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. Because you've been like one of the biggest gamers I've known for a long time.
But it's hard for me to do Red Dead while I'm Twitching though, because I'm trying to like immerse, you know what I mean? And it's like, but I've been doing the Twitch in the arcade. I got the high score at the place yesterday. That was sick, dude.
What did you play?
Galaga.
Dude, they had a whole fucking, I don't know if you saw this, Andrew. Upstairs, there was a Super Smash Brothers tournament that they were having it wasn't even in the arcade. They had a whole room full of like.
Yeah, no, it was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. Did you ever do like Counter-Strike and shit like that back in the day?
I did do Counter-Strike.
At like the cafes? Do you know what I'm
Not
talking
in a
about?
cafe.
But
yeah, they did have those though. I remember that. I played it at my house.
oh, okay.
Like with the modem on the dial-up.
Yeah.
All that shit. But
Way back.
yeah, because I'm not like a big online gamer, but Counter-Strike was the shit.
That's crazy. You're not like a Call of Duty guy?
I played online back when it first kind of became a thing, but now I'm a storyline guy, dude. All about the storyline.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm trying to immerse, get good narrative, character development, you know. And Red Dead is the apex for that, man.
I've never played Red Dead. I know. I never even finished God of War.
Oh, fuck. God of War is, goddamn. God of War 3 / Ragnarok. Like the two enders of each pantheon. Because the one where you kill all the Greek gods, like number 3, is just like, oh, so good, dude.
I need to
kill
I need to finish.
everybody.
Yeah. I never finish anything. I'm fucking so terrible, dude.
That is nuts.
I got so far into it and I was like, yeah, I think I started playing Star Wars and then I was fucking.
Did you beat that?
Yes.
Okay.
I beat both Star Wars games and both Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to really
like
like
those
some
games.
shit.
I
have
like
to
those games too,
really
a
like
lot.
some shit to get to the end of it. Because if not, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, God of War.
I just got bored. I don't know why I got bored. Man, I'm terrible. But all right, we got to get out of here because we got to go to Reno right now.
This drive is going to suck.
Yeah, that's why I'm flying. Sorry.
That's all right, man. I respect it. Yeah, you know, hopefully I got to hydrate. I'm in like, I hope for a new viewer, you're not just like, whoa, that's Chris Webby's very low energy guy. Like I can be.
It's a great version. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm hurting.
I appreciate you coming through, dude.
Oh, dude, happy to be here. You're the man.
We are on tour right now. Go get your tickets.
Like, where do you look when you look?
I'm
though?
looking at that camera. You look at that camera.
Where's it?
Mine's right there. You can't see it. Yours is right there.
Okay.
ChrisWebby.com or EchoMusic.com. Get your tickets. I think Seattle sold out, so you're shit out of luck.
Some others are very, very close.
Edmonton's probably close. Nelson's probably close.
Edmonton, there's still some tickets because it's a big spot.
Okay.
But yeah, Nelson, Kelowna, they might be sold out already, and I just haven't gotten the heads up yet. But yeah, it's going to be a very good tour. All the shows are selling well.
Tariffs or not, we're gonna be up in that bitch.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't tariff us.
Terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. All right. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on tour. If we don't see you on tour, then sucks for you, dudes. The shows are gonna be sick. So come out. Chris Webby, thanks for coming through.
Thanks
Talk
for
to you guys
having me.
later. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.